you're sitting on the toilet, not thinking about anything in particular. And then, out of nowhere, the answer shows up. The thing you couldn't figure out at your desk for 3 hours. The reply you didn't know how to write. The solution to a problem you'd basically given up on. It just arrives, fully formed, while you're doing absolutely nothing. Why here? Why now? Why not at your desk, where you were actually trying? Turns out, the bathroom isn't a coincidence. It's a fluke of evolution. There's an actual switch in your brain that only flips on when you're alone and bored. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly what it is, and the one thing you're doing right now that's quietly turning it off. For most of human history, people were never alone. Ancient humans slept in piles, for warmth and for safety. They ate together, they worked together, gathered together, traveled together. Almost every waking moment happened in view of someone else. There wasn't a door to close, there wasn't a room to disappear into. But there was one task that pulled you away from the group every single day without question. The same task that pulls you away from everyone right now, going to the bathroom. Picture it. Someone steps away from the camp alone into the tall grass at the edge of the trees. For a few minutes, nobody's watching. Nobody needs anything from them. There's no animal to track, no tool to make, no conversation to follow, just quiet and stillness and a brain with absolutely nothing it's required to do. That's a strange kind of moment for a highly social animal. And it turns out the brain does something specific the instant that happens. The same something that's probably happening to you right now. In 2009, a researcher named Kalina Christoph ran a study that helped explain it. Using brain scans, she found that the moment your mind isn't locked onto an outside task, a specific network inside your brain switches on. It's called the default mode network, and it isn't your brain shutting down. It's your brain switching into a completely different mode of thinking. This network connects memories, ideas, and emotions in loose, associative ways your focused, task-driven brain normally can't. It's the same system active when you daydream, when your mind drifts in the shower, when you stop trying to solve a problem on the toilet and somehow solve it anyway. For a long time, scientists assumed deep focus was when your brain worked hardest. The default mode network flipped that idea. It suggested your brain might do its most original thinking exactly when you stop demanding anything from it, and exactly the kind of moment a bathroom break forces on you. And that should sound like great news. Free, built-in genius time every single day, no effort required. Except here's the part that should bother you a little. You still get that exact window. You get it constantly, actually. Way more than your ancestors ever did. And almost every single time it shows up, you're doing something to make sure it never finishes. We'll get to that. But first, here's why this window existed in the first place, and why for most of human history it was never optional. Here's where it connects back to that person in the grass, 10,000 years ago, doing the exact thing you're doing right now. Their entire day was the opposite of this state. Constant vigilance, constant social tracking, constant attention to threats, to tools, to each other. The brain rarely got permission to switch into that loose, wandering mode because something always needed watching, except for that one task. The bathroom break built directly into survival itself. No predator to scan for, no one to perform for, just enough stillness and just enough boredom for the mind to finally let go. But here's what makes the bathroom specifically interesting, and this is where it stops being just theory. In 2012, Benjamin Baird and Jonathan Schooler at UC Santa Barbara ran a study to test exactly this. They gave people a series of creative problems, then sent them on a break. Some rested completely, some did a demanding task, some did something undemanding and low attention, the kind of thing that occupies your hands but leaves your mind free. Then everyone returned to the creative problems. The undemanding group didn't just do better, they significantly outperformed everyone else, including the people who had rested. Completely doing nothing wasn't enough. The mind needed just enough low-level occupation to keep it from going blank, while still giving it the freedom to wander. That window, just occupied enough, but not too occupied, is exactly what a bathroom break is. Which brings us back to you, right now, on the toilet. You've recreated that exact window completely by accident. You're alone. The task in front of you needs almost none of your attention. There's nothing urgent demanding focus. For a few minutes, your brain is permitted to do the one thing it almost never gets to do anywhere else in your day. Wander. And that wandering is not wasted time. It's your default mode network, quietly connecting things your focused brain was too busy to notice were even related. Remember the thing I said should bother you a little? Here it is. You're erasing this almost as fast as it happens. The instant you sit down, your hand is already moving toward your phone. A feed, a video, a notification. The one truly empty moment your entire day still had left. The one your ancestors were handed automatically. You fill it back up within seconds. Your ancestors' stillness was forced on them by circumstance. Yours is optional, and you're choosing almost every time to skip it. So the next time an idea shows up out of nowhere while you're doing nothing, that's not a coincidence, and it's definitely not random. It's an old part of your brain finally getting a moment it hasn't had all day, doing exactly what it was built to do when nobody and nothing is asking anything of it. Your ancestors didn't have many moments like that. You have one almost every day. Most of us just keep reaching for a screen before it has the chance to finish the thought, and maybe that's why some of your best ideas appear when you're finally alone with your own thoughts. But that raises another question. If ancient humans spent so much time together, how did they communicate before language existed?